Hey everybody, it's your girl Stephanie C. Dixon, the Inspirational Diva, host of the Inspirational Diva Show, brought to you by Home Care Network, bringing healthcare home. Now, we already know that it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but this is going to be something different today because we always hear about the women that have told about their stories of survival of breast cancer. Well, did you know that men get breast cancer too? They do. And I have a guest that has been on the show before, Mr. Clifford Armstead, and he's going to be telling us about his journey with breast cancer. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. It's Saturday, you know what's up on the radio with the diva. 10:30 a.m. Gonna tell your friends that you're on the radio with the diva.
You discover faith for the journey. I'm talking strength for the mission. Right here with Stephanie Dixon. Inspirational diva. This one for all my believers. How you learning and living right here with Stephanie Dixon.
She has it all.
Real talk, real faith, real truth.
Got it all.
Got the news, got the hits, got the scoop.
Got it all.
This the inspirational diva.
You can only tell your friends that you're on the radio with the diva. All right, everybody, we are back. Your girl Stephanie C. Dixon, the Inspirational Diva, host of the Inspirational Diva Show. And like I told you before, we are recognizing Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I told you before, not just women get breast cancer. And we've had our guest that's going to be with us today. We've had him on the show before talking about his journey and just encouraging men to get tested also, because if it runs in your family, then there is a possibility that you, even as a man, you can get breast cancer too. But Mr. Armstead is going to talk to us about that. Cliff, how are you doing today?
Real good, Miss Dixon. How are you today?
I'm doing well, doing well, doing well. So, first of all, let's just talk about this. Men get breast cancer.
Yes, they do. And I'm one of the men. When I got it in 2016, well, at least when I found out, the statistic was 1 in 1,000. Now it has risen, and it's 1 in 800 now, men with breast cancer.
So just tell us a little bit about your journey then.
Sure. In 2016, I found out, I noticed I had some bleeding in my shirt, and thought it was actually food. Went home, changed clothes, found out it was actually blood in my t-shirt. Took a shower, got out, put a bandage on it, which was my left breast, and wasn't any lump or any soreness or any tenderness in anything. It was just leakage. That went on like men normally do, just put bandage on something, and I didn't think very much of it. Week or two passed by. My wife noticed it after I got out of the shower, and she said, "This is not right." We both went to a physician, one of the local Care Now clinics or one of those clinics like that. And they laid me down on the table. They'd done the self-examination like they do on ladies. Well, this was weird to me being a man. And so the physician explained to me that men do get breast cancer as well. And it's a very small chance that this is possible, that it could be cancerous. He done the observation and suggested that sent a referral that I should go to the women imaging department. And it's funny that it says women imaging because they're sending me there to see if I had breast cancer there. And they done a mammogram on a man. And later on, they done a biopsy as well. And come to find out, sure enough, I did. I found out on lunch. They called me in about a week or two later and told me, sure enough, it was cancerous. I went, like I said, I found out on my lunch break at work, and I Googled all the way back to work about male breast cancer. 2016, there was no information in regards of male breast cancer. It was loads of information in regards of women breast cancer, but no information in regards of male breast cancer. This was very troubling, and luckily, an organization was starting up, and it was Men for Men. It was in the early phases, and they reached out to me and asked me, was the man with the bad breast, the gentleman Michael Lynette, and just to break the ice, and I laughed and I said yes. And so he began to explain to me about their organization, and asked me if I would want to, if they would come out the day of my surgery and be there for me to support me the day of my surgery. And it was Reverend Michael Annette, and it was three other gentlemen. Like I say, the group had just started, and he was there the day of my surgery. My wife, he was there with my wife. He held my hand all the way to the operating room and prayed with me along the way. And when the doors were open, he said, "This is as far as I can take you." He found out he was a reverend, and he prayed with me the whole way. And I'm a God-fearing man, and that really just touched my heart. The surgery wasn't supposed to be no more than about 4 hours. Ended up being a little over 7 hour surgery. And come to find out, he stayed there the whole time with my wife, bought her breakfast, lunch, and was there after my surgery until I woke up. And they offered me to become a founder of Men for Men. And actually, I became a speaker in regards. So I get out and I let people know in regards of the Men for Men, what we're about. They have been there for me. I've been there for them. We travel all over. We have different speaking engagements. We help out with different walks and different events. We have even had people come as far as San Antonio to come be a part of the group. We help find people if they don't have the means for the medical. We find help they need to get them seen and get screened. So
Well,
that's a little.
I'm sorry for interjecting, but let me ask you a question. You said that when back in 2016 that it was 1 in 1,000, and now it's 1 in 800. What do you think? Do you think that maybe it's that number changed because maybe more men are being more noticeable? And if so, what would you tell the listeners maybe some of the signs or warning signals are for men with breast cancer? I know yours was bleeding, but are there some other indicators that could let a man know, hey, you might need to go get checked?
Well, yes, Stephanie. Along the way, I found out because in our men's support groups, there's different physicians that come in and let us know about men's bodies. It could be urologists, it could be heart, it could be, they're all walks of doctors come in at every visit we have. And so along the way, we have found out that a lot of men actually walk around not knowing that they actually do have breast cancer. And by the time they find out, the cancer is spread to other parts of the body, and they find out, well, you have lung cancer, you have bladder cancer, this and that there, not knowing that it actually possibly may have started with the breast cancer. Yes, there are different signs. You could have tenderness, you can have soreness, you can have a lump, but you men have to pay attention, just like women. If there's something, if you're not, if you could be feeling ill, it could be back pain, it could be soreness otherwhere, but just don't just let it go by. If you're feeling some kind of way, if you weren't feeling that way yesterday, go get seen. Go tell someone. Tell your wife if you're lucky enough to have a wife or a girlfriend, significant other. But actually, just tell someone and actually go into the physician and go get seen.
So we thank God for your wife that made you go to the doctor because you probably would have just kind of patched it up and just kept going. So
Yep.
now also let the listeners know, because we as women, we know that if there's a history of breast cancer in our family, or, we will, of course, get checked because we have to get checked earlier as far as getting mammograms. We'd have to get checked at an earlier age than told if we have a history of breast cancer in our family. So would you suggest that for men as well, to know the women in the family that had breast cancer, and if they do, they definitely need to get checked?
Yes, this is true. I actually found out from a physician that was helping me along my breast cancer journey. And I have a daughter, which is 25. And by me having breast cancer, he alerted her at an earlier age to go ahead and start getting screening periodically every year as well.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't rule out men as well. he said that my son, once he gets in his 20s, that he needs to start getting screened as well, not only for the breast cancer, but for prostate cancer as well, which is very prevalent often men.
Right, right, right. So along this journey, how many men would you say you've met that probably just blew your mind when you found out that you had it? So when you found out that there were other men on this journey as well, I mean, just how mind-boggling was that?
Wow, good question, Stephanie. I've met at least 30 men along this journey. Social media, reaching out, and actually a couple of interviews I've done on your show, gentlemen reached out to me in regards, along with women that have significant others that are men that are going through treatment, just found out, would love to have someone to talk to them because in their area there isn't no other men. They don't have any groups, support groups. They didn't know that men actually do get breast cancer. And we actually have a gentleman that's in our group that went about 2 years denying that he did have breast cancer. And by the time they did diagnose him, he had stage 3 cancer.
Yeah, you know, it's amazing because after I did meet you and Pastor Arnett, I've met him before as well. He's been on the show as well. And just having you on the show and people just shocked that men can get breast cancer. You've even come to my church before and you've spoken, and people were just, I mean, you just gave such a wealth of information that people needed to know because it did enlighten us as to what signs to look for and just kind of be more aware, men be more aware of their bodies and just not think that everything is just an ache or a pain. It could be something serious.
Yes, it can. And, it's a lot of misinformation out there. It's, you said it right. I mean, don't misjudge or ache or pain for not being something serious.
Right.
You want to go get seen by a professional. And I was glad that the doctor that seen me had the foresight to think that possibly it could be breast cancer. I've heard stories of gentlemen that went and was misdiagnosed because maybe their physician just didn't think it possibly could be. So you want to be kind of consistent and say, hey, I would rather for you to rule it out than just pass it off.
Yeah. Yeah. And then too, men, we want to encourage you all, because when you think of breast cancer, you think, oh, it's something women get. So it's nothing to be ashamed of, because our bodies are just made in different type of ways, and so we just can't always just single one thing out just for a man or just for a woman, because to be honest, I did find out years ago because I modeled in a fashion show and Richard Roundtree was the guest speaker. And that fashion show was for breast cancer awareness. And that's when I found out that Richard Roundtree, the actor that originally played Shaft, had breast cancer.
Yeah, it's nothing to be ashamed of at all. We've been well received, and these men are men. Like Reverend Ned, he's about 6'6". He used to play all type of sports and all that. Myself, like I said, I got 2 kids, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, it could happen. And what's funny is along this way, I've learned that actually men and women are not that much different from one another.
And it was amazing because, like I said, that's when I first heard about a man having breast cancer. But for years, until I contacted you, I had never heard of another man, saying that they had breast cancer. So I'm saying that to say this. I'm glad that you, like Richard Roundtree, you are spreading the knowledge that you have and letting people know about your journey so that others can come forth if there's something that they're being faced with. And one thing I really do like is that there is a support group specifically for men with breast cancer. We hear about the women's support groups, and that's good, but sometimes men want to be in a different setting so they can talk to other men about it, and show your emotions there and feel safe. So tell us
You
about
almost,
the Men for Men.
I'm going to say, you almost sound like you've been to one of our meetings before.
No.
Because we get together, we laugh, and and whatever's said in the room stays in the room. And we talk about a little bit of everything that goes on, the changes in your body due to the medication and stuff you take. And we have what's called a nurse navigator there, Miss Vicki Holland, which is on your show as well. She's highly, thoroughly educated in the field of breast cancer, and she's a wealth of knowledge. Any of the medications that we take, any of the treatments or whatnot. And also, she always let us know that get more than one opinion about what's going on. My journey started off at Charlton Methodist, and it kind of ended up down in MD Anderson in Houston. Texas Oncology and MD Anderson works together to give me the treatment that's designed just for me. And what is good is actually therapeutic to be able to talk amongst other men that are going through what you're going through. I'm glad I didn't make the decision to just be quiet about it and allow it to consume me.
And that's what I want to, excuse me for cutting you off, but that's what I want to talk about when we come back from the break. I really want to talk about how this really affected you when you first found out, because I'm sure you had to kind of deal with that mentally and grasp the thing, like, I got breast cancer, and then you had your family to deal with. So we're going to talk about just kind of how that may or may not have been an emotional roller coaster for you. But we're going to talk about that when we get back from this message. We'll be right back on the Inspirational Diva.
Home Care Network brings healthcare in the comfort of your home. Our skilled nurses can cover everything that you would get in a hospital, from wound care management, pulmonary and cardiac care, medication management, and physical, occupational, speech therapy, x-rays, and more. Home Care Network has 3 locations in DeSoto, Rockwall, and Palestine. Visit homecarenetwork.com or on Facebook at Home Care Network TX. Home Care Network, the care you need in the comfort of your home.
Everybody, we are back. Your girl Stephanie C. Dixon, the Inspirational Diva, host of the Inspirational Diva Show, brought to you by Home Care Network. And we have been talking to our special guest, Mr. Cliff Armstead. I don't even feel like he's a guest anymore. I just feel like he's part of the family because he's been on the show so many times. But he is here to talk to us about his journey with breast cancer. Yes, men do get breast cancer. And so now, Cliff, we've talked about your surgery and the people that were there with you, but I just kind of want to talk about how did this affect you mentally when you first found out you had breast cancer? Because you couldn't be as okay with it as you are now. And I know that's coming with the counseling and, the prayers and everything. But when you first heard about it, what happened?
I was a mess, Stephanie. Like I said, I found out at lunch break. For you to go back to work, just finding out you have cancer, my first thoughts were, what is my family going to do? I was almost like, I'm going to die tomorrow, which is not the case because I got diagnosed in 2016. Here we are in the footsteps of 2023. And thank you for all the angels that have prayed for me that I don't know that are praying for me. But every time I'm seen out, you're the guy that has breast cancer. I see your pictures here and there. And I'm just overwhelmed with a lot of prayers. But yes, but thank God that there was a support group that reached out to me. Because my mind, I was trying to find something in regards to male breast, and they didn't have anything at the time of 2016. I was very thankful to meet someone else that looks like me, because at the time, Michael, I think he was a 9-year survivor of breast cancer. And they was working vigorously trying to get the word out that men do get breast cancer. In the group, we support one another. We exchange information in regard to what treatments, what medicine we're taking, who our physicians are, and we also talk about our family. How did your wife accept you having breast cancer? How are you guys dealing with it? How did your kids deal with it? Stephanie, it was probably about maybe a year or two before my son found out. Because he was young and he didn't take it very well when he found out I had cancer. But when he finally found out that dad is doing okay with the treatments and all that, it calmed him down. My daughter has been very supportive. At the time she was early 20s, and I had the DNA, the BRCA gene test, and to make sure that it's not hereditary. It came out negative, but still, we insisted that she goes and gets seen and gets screened as well. And we just huddle around one another. They supported me. And I realized, Stephanie, along this journey, that my wife actually was a caregiver. I didn't realize that until a lady friend that was an author and invited her out. And her book was explaining about the people in our life being caregivers. And from that point on, I praise her for helping me out along this journey. There was a time, Stephanie, right after my surgery when I had both breasts removed, it was hard for me to bathe myself, but my wife was there to help make sure I was, getting treated. I was taking the right medicine. She was going to all the medical visits and stuff. She was making me understand what they were telling me, because just like you say, my mind wasn't to me, but all I know, I have cancer. But she was along there the whole way, holding my hand. She's been there, but yeah, it does something to you. And I try to stay busy. I'm just so thankful to God every day I wake up, Stephanie, and I just take off and I just appreciate and I thank God for every day I'm allowed to see a different day.
And I can imagine that was hard in another way too, because you're used to being the provider for your family, the caretaker of your family. The man is the head of the household, and now you have your wife that's taking care of you. But we just thank God for her. She's so sweet. I love her. And so we just thank God that you did have that helpmate there to help take care of you, because that support is like 100% needed, I'm sure, during a time like that. Now, you said that you had the testing done on your daughter. Did you have a history of breast cancer in your family from anyone?
Well, yeah, unfortunately, my mother passed away from breast cancer and lung cancer.
Oh, okay.
It possibly, and you really can't rule out too much of anything. So you want to just take advantage of what the medical community has to offer. And first thing, you have to get in and go get checked every year. That's mandatory. Your health is your wealth.
Yeah.
You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have good health, who cares about the money?
True. My pastor says that all the time. If they tell you tomorrow that might be your last day, you don't care how much money you have, So that is so true. So after you had your surgery, did you have to do radiation, chemo, or what treatments did you have afterwards?
Yeah, actually, yes. I'm on some experimental stuff right now, and it was due to my age, the reason why I was able to do it. I didn't have to take some of the harsh treatments that a lot of people, some of the women take. I was fortunate enough when I went down to MD Anderson, due to my age, being young, fitting the criteria of some new medication. I take a chemo pill every day, and low dosage, but what it does, it does what that harsh treatment does, but it doesn't affect me so I'm tired sometime, but I'd rather be tired than not here.
Right. Well, I guess I don't see you on your tired days, because every time I see you, you're working, you're moving. So you're doing good as far as I'm concerned, and that's a blessing in itself. Now, I know that you do a lot of speaking engagements. So, do you have any speaking engagements or any events coming up where you will be speaking?
Yeah, I just actually did one for the Deltas, and actually I have one tomorrow night, and I can't remember what the name of the organization is. And then there's one Sunday as well. And Stephanie, my thing of it is I speak where if I can just help save one person and make them aware the possibilities that they may have cancer or any other terminal illness, especially in a man. A lot of time, I could have ignored the situation. And I say for that is I could have been, I wouldn't have been here to be able to spread the word. I'd have been selfish. I'd have been selfish not telling people, going on different platforms, telling people. I'd have been selfish. But I feel as if what I do is saving someone's life, making somebody feel better. Because, like I say, that was 2016 I was diagnosed, and we're here on the footsteps of 2023. So just because you get diagnosed with cancer, don't mean it's going to be over tomorrow or the next day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's good. I'm glad that you're saying that because people, a lot of times when they hear their diagnosis, cancer, it's like almost immediately they give up on life. And
Well,
that's when you're really supposed to push and say, I can beat this. I can beat this and just go on this journey, knowing that God is, my guide and he's going to see me through it.
right, because I may have cancer, but cancer doesn't have me.
That's right. That's right. So, Cliff, I want to say this. Now, this is something that we always hear the women say, and so it's true for the men too. Early detection is the key.
Early detection is the key. And my saying is go get seen and go get screened.
I like that. Go get seen and go get screened. That is so good. So, Cliff, before we wrap this up, can you tell the listeners if somebody wants to have you to come and speak at maybe their church, like you did for us at Trinity Temple? You came and spoke, and you gave us so much information that I'm telling you, the members were still talking about it like for weeks after you came to the church. Like, where did you find him? He gave us a good information. I didn't know this. I didn't know that. So you're giving valuable information. So if they want you to come and speak, where can they contact you?
First and foremost, Miss Dixon, on your platform, they can reach out to you as well, and you will be
Okay.
glad to come back. And also, they can reach me at CLARM Armstead 080 at gmail.com. Or you can reach me on Facebook under Clifford Armstead. Just send me a message or a friend request, which that's where you found me.
Mm-hmm. Did. It's amazing, you guys, because I actually Googled men with breast cancer. And Cliff was the first person that came up because I wanted to do a show about it. And you're the first person that came out. I contacted you on Facebook and you've been answering the call ever since.
Yeah. What was funny, your platform as well has put me in contact with quite a few people. I seen you on the Diva show, and I would love to hear from you. I would love for you to talk to my husband. I would love to you to talk to my brother. Please, I've had, like I said, I had a whole family come to my house for intervention with their brother that wouldn't accept that he had cancer. It's a sad ending. The gentleman, he was 35, 36 he was, and got diagnosed. The Men for Men organization was able to get him in MD Anderson. He got down there. He didn't want to get cut on. He didn't want to take any of the treatments, and he just refused. And we lost a young brother because he was just scared of everything. And if he and like I'm open, all the gentlemen in part of the group are open. I told them they're the doctors are the professional. If they say they want to cut on me, if they want me to take some type of medication, I'm gonna do it. A lot of time you hear people that's on the medication, they say, well, it makes me feel some kind of way. It makes me this and that there. But let your physician know, because there may be something else they can prescribe to you, or change the way you take it. You know, if because some of the stuff is kind of it deals with your psyche or whatnot, and so you may want to take it where it's in your body overnight while you sleep. There's many ways of taking your medicine, or just let them know it may be something they can do different. But at the end of the day, like the doctor told me, I can give you this, I can give you that, I can tell you to eat like this, but at the end of the day, it's up to you to do it.
Right, right, right. All right. Well, thank you for that information. And can you give your email address again?
Sure.
It's, contact you.
Sure. It's a CL Armstead, ARMSTEAD 0808 at gmail.com, or the easiest way, Clifford Armstead at Facebook. Be the easiest way. I do respond, like Ms. Dixon said. Number of people have contacted me via that way. Just send me a message on there. And once again, it's Clifford Armstead on Facebook.
All right. Well, Mr. Armstead, again, thank you so much for being on the Inspirational Diva Show. It's always a pleasure to have you on here, because to me, it's like it doesn't matter how many times I have you on, because someone needs to hear what you're saying. Because just like you said, the young man that refused the service, sometimes it's hard for a man to take in, you know, and so even the group Men for Men, Men for Men breast cancer awareness group, just to have a place like that to go to and have someone to talk to. So just men, just know that if this is your situation, you have someone to talk to. There is a group there for you. Just go and let them love on you and pray for you and be there for you. Mr. Armstead, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. And hey, you keep on modeling. I'm loving what you're doing.
Thank you, Mr. Armstead. All right, everybody. So we're going to go on break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking to Kim Haney and Donna Garza, and they're having a breast cancer awareness walk, and it's coming up on October 29th, and they're going to be talking to us about that walk. So you stay here, and we'll be right back.
Home Care Network brings healthcare in the comfort of your home. Our skilled nurses can cover everything that you would get in a hospital, from wound care management, pulmonary and cardiac care, medication management, and physical, occupational, speech therapy, x-rays, and more. Home Care Network has 3 locations in DeSoto, Rockwall, and Palestine. Visit homecarenetwork.com or on Facebook at Home Care Network TX. Home Care Network, the care you need in the comfort of your home.
All right, everybody, we are back. Your girl, Stephanie C. Dixon, the Inspirational Diva, host of the Inspirational Diva Show, brought to you by Home Care Network, bringing healthcare home. So we just had a great conversation with Mr. Clifford Armstead, and he was talking to us about his journey with breast cancer. So just to reiterate, men, if you have a history of breast cancer in your family, it is a good thing for you to be checked, because men do get breast cancer. All right. So right now we are back with our next guest, and this is Miss Kim Haney, and she is here to tell us about the Boo for Cure 3K walk, and it is hosted by the Lemon Berries Fitness Group. So she's going to be talking to us about that. It's going to be October 9th, October 29th, starting at 9 a.m. Kim, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you for being on the Inspirational Diva Show. We appreciate you taking time out, because I know you're busy. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So tell us about the Boo for Cure 3K walk.
I'm glad you asked. You know, we've been trying to do a walk for a while with our fitness group. And one of the other ladies, she said, you know, we haven't done our walk, and we should go ahead and do that in October. Mm-hmm. And I said, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so we kind of thought about it, and we decided to put it together. This is the Lemon Berries first annual fitness walk that we decided to combine with breast cancer awareness. As a survivor, it's very important to me to get out the word, to go get a mammogram, get checked. And so we started working on this walk. And then we met folks like Clifford Armstead at the City of Lancaster Senior Life Center, and everything just started clicking. He gave us information, folks to talk to, and has been a real inspiration of helping us put this 3K walk together. So we have some vendors that are going to be out. We're going to pass out candies candy to the kids. We have some dancers. I think it's going to be an exciting day. We're inviting everyone out, City of Lancaster residents. If you're not in Lancaster, you're still invited. We want everyone to come out and support breast cancer awareness.
Awesome, awesome. So tell us where this walk is going to be.
The walk is going to be at the Senior Life Center, Parks and Rec, City of Lancaster, at 240 Veterans Memorial Parkway, City of Lancaster. It'll start at 9 a.m. on October 29th.
Okay, good, good. Now, we just finished talking to Mr. Armstead, who you just mentioned, and he's been a guest on the show before, talking to the men specifically about getting tested. Now, you say that you yourself are a survivor, so can you tell us a little bit about your journey?
Yes, I can. Like everyone else, or maybe not so much like everyone else, but I never really thought about breast cancer. I was going to get mammograms just for the sake of getting mammograms, never thinking anything of it. So that fateful day, I go down to get my mammogram and they see clusters. And so they said, we want to take another look at this. And so we schedule a biopsy. You know, at this time, I'm like, oh, it's fine. It's just a biopsy. It's not anything is going to happen. That was on October 30th. On October 31st, 5 years ago, I get a phone call that is breast cancer. My whole world changed.
Right.
So the next thing I had to do, I went to Baylor, Big Baylor, downtown Dallas. And what was wonderful is they helped me find a doctor, a surgeon. All of the pieces that were missing, they helped me put those things together. It's so funny that the lady that did the finances, she found money to help me pay for the surgery and the medicine. The medicine was very, very expensive. I had to have chemo. I had to have surgery first, then chemo and radiation. One of the things that happened during my journey, one of my girlfriends, my husband worked out of state, had to come and help me. She took me to my medical procedures and dropped me back at home because you're tired, you're not able to drive. And you know what I learned about having breast cancer? It takes a village. Right. Everyone has to support you. Everyone has to help you. So basically, in the end, I had to prepare to fight and I had to show strength. And I think the lesson that I learned from all of this is when you go through something, you set an example for others. And so several of my friends have had cancer since then, and they came to me, Kim, what do I do? Kim, I need your help. I was able to do for them what others did for me. So the journey was not just going through cancer, but it's what you show others about your ability to fight. Yes. And your ability. People said I made cancer look easy. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad that it looked that way.
Yes, yes, yes. And I'm glad that you mentioned that. And that is something that Mr. Armstead talked about earlier also, his wife, you know, being there for him. And it is so important to have, like you said, that village, have people around you to support, you know, and I think that helps to make it just a little bit, you know.
It does. My sister flew in for a month and because I had chemo every week. And it just made the biggest difference that I had so many people who volunteered to help. One of my girlfriends bought food. They came over and prayed for me, her and her son and her mother. It just made the biggest difference to me.
Now, did you know of or was there a history of breast cancer in your family?
No, but we did do the testing and it came back that I did not have the gene for breast cancer. However, 2.5 years later, my sister was diagnosed with breast cancer. So, you know, you don't know if the testing is really giving you the genetics of it, that it's not in the family. So what I suggest is that if someone in your family gets breast cancer, you need to go and get checked.
Right.
You know, especially I talk to people every day that say, you know, I don't do mammograms. I'm like, are you crazy? Go get your mammogram. And then when I was at the doctor's office yesterday, I saw something that said 1 in 8 women are diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow.
That's a high number. We have to get a cure.
Yes, yes, definitely. And just to encourage those women that don't get mammograms, it is so important to do so because we always hear early detection is the key, you know. And so if you just go get checked, if there is anything there. Yeah.
Yes, I was so blessed that I went because I've been there the previous year. And then in 2017, when I was diagnosed, it was only a year later. I was stage 1A, HER2 positive. It was an aggressive breast cancer. And thank God we caught it when we did.
So let's talk about the Lemonberries Fitness Group. Tell us a little bit about that group.
I'm so glad that you asked. Our president, Donna Garza, is the best ever. What she told me was it was the pandemic and everybody was sitting around kind of gaining weight, not going to the gym. Right. And she was trying to think of a way to bring women together. And one of the ways she thought to do that was that when you're going through your journey, working out at home or wherever you were working out, you would film it. And you would share that with other like-minded women. So Donna and I used to work together. And so we always made videos and we shared our workout journey together. One of the things, so the group kept growing, but then we started including recipes, health issues, talking about health issues. So we're a little bit more than a fitness group. Donna sends out a good morning every morning with something funny, you know, something inspirational. And the group is just dynamic. I'm so blessed to be a part of it. The fitness group is like home. And so we're trying to grow, we're trying to expand, get our website and get everything going, but we still want to give back to the community. Yes. And that's what we're about, giving to the community.
Awesome, awesome. So with that, giving back to the community, we have the Boo for Cure 3K walk. Now, everybody may not be able to come and participate at the walk. So if they can't, but they want to be a blessing to the group or the organization putting on the walk, how can they make a donation?
There's 2 ways to make a donation. One, they can contact me directly, 214-729-9792, or the Lemonberries email at lemonberries, lemon, LEMMON -berries, BERRIES @gmail.com. So either Donna or myself will contact them back and give them ways that they can donate. And it would be such a blessing because we have some wonderful vendors and supporters and sponsors, but you know, we need the community. We want to make sure that we can donate to one of the bigger breast cancer awareness groups, but we have to raise the money first before we can donate. So that's what this is all about, raising the money so that we can donate to some folks who can help us get a cure.
So tell us about some of the people that you have that will be participating or involved in the walk.
I would love to. So first of all, Clifford Armstead with the City of Lancaster Parks and Recs, he was so phenomenal on getting some of our vendors. So one of the groups that's coming is his group, Men for Men Breast Cancer Awareness. So they'll be here and I'm really excited about them. I've invited some men that may have some breast cancer issues and don't know where to go, don't know who to speak to. So they're very inspirational in having that group. Dr. Vanessa Williams with DFW Dental, she'll be here and she'll have some things to pass out to the kids and talk about dental care. We have CardioFit. CardioFit is a fitness group that does healthcare. And so they're going to be here. She's going to be bringing some breast cancer survivors with her. So we're really excited. I actually have a surprise for them. Some of the shirts that we're going to be passing out to the CardioFit folks say survivor on the back. So I'm really excited. I know. So we also have Deco Group. Deco Group was one of the first sponsors, first people to say, you know, we want to sponsor you. They're a land development company. So if you have zoning needs or permitting needs, Deco Group is a company that you can speak with. And so they'll be here. We have the Lancaster Rising Star Dancers. I can't wait. They're going to open us up with a dance. And then later on, before we start the walk, they're going to come back and do another dance. So we're really excited to have them. I don't know if I mentioned our Mary Kay representative. This lady had Mary Kay that she wanted to give to survivors. And she called a couple of different organizations and no one returned her call. So Clifford again said, call Kim Haney because she's going to have a 3K walk. And I bet she would love for you to be there. This lady is 78 years old. And she just got into Mary Kay, and she wants to be a blessing to breast cancer survivors. So we can't wait to have her here. And so those are some of the sponsors we have as of now.
Awesome. All right, everybody. So there you have it, the Boo for Cure 3K walk. And it is going to be Saturday, October 29th, starting at 9 a.m. And let them know again, Kim, where it's going to be.
It's going to be at the Senior Life Center, Parks and Recreation, City of Lancaster, 240 Veterans Memorial Parkway. Registration will start at 9 a.m. There will be a waiver. You have to sign the waiver to walk. And then after that, the walk will start directly at 10 a.m.
Awesome. All right, everybody. So there you have it. We want to see you out there on October 29th at 9 a.m. at the, is it the Senior Center or is it
Senior Life Center?
Okay, the Senior Life Center in Lancaster, Texas. Kim, we pray that God continues to grow this this walk for you each year, that people donate and that it just gets bigger and bigger, that you're able to write that check out and give it to one of the larger organizations that also have walks or just fighting for a cure and praying for a cure. So we pray that God blesses you in that area. All right, everybody, get your walking shoes together. Get your bottles of water, your tank tops, and your, what they call them, stretch pants.
Yeah.
and get to walking. All right. So again, before we go, Kim, please give them your contact information again, and also the email address for Lemon Berries in case they can't make it, but they want to give a donation.
Thank you so much for that. I'm Kim Haney, and I can be reached at 214-729-9792. You can call me directly, or you can email our Lemon Berries group at LEMMON-berries, BERRIES @gmail.com.
All right. That's it, everybody. And we want to see you at the Senior Rec Center in Lancaster, Texas, October 29th at 9 a.m. Don't forget, you do have to sign a waiver so that you can be able to participate in the walk. So Kim, much success to you and God's continued blessings to you. And thank God you look great. You're a survivor. And so we give God glory for that. It is always a good thing to be able to say survivor. So we honor God for that.
That's right.
All right, everybody, you know what time it is. It is time for God's text message of the day. Before Sprint, T-Mobile, AT&T, or Metro PCS had text messaging, God had already given us the greatest text message of all, and that's the word of God. And we need to find ourselves forwarding that word out so that others can be blessed by what God has to say to his people. And then we must reply to God's word by applying it to our lives so that others can see God's good work in us. And today's verse of the day comes from Romans chapter 15, verse 5. And it says, now the God of patience and consolation grant you to be like-minded one toward another according to Jesus Christ. In other words, let's love everybody. All right. Treat others the way you want to be treated. All right. We are all in this world together. We got to live in this world together. So let's love each other together. And that is Romans 15 and 5. It says, now the God of patience and consolation grant you to be like-minded. Be patient, all right, with each other, one toward another, according to Christ Jesus. All right. That's it for your girl, Stephanie C. Dixon, the Inspirational Diva. Thank you for tuning into the Inspirational Diva Show. And don't forget, if nobody told you, remember that I love you. Jesus loves you. And there ain't a thing you can do about that. Until next time, y'all be blessed. Bye.
Yeah.